Welcome to Home Dad Chat, brought to you by the National At-Home Dad Network. My name is Brock,
My name is Danny.
and we are here to talk about life as stay-at-home dads. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
No, I don't want much. I even love handmade crafts made of macaroni. Come on now, you should know me. Times I might eat too much. No worry about my weight, got the dad bod rocking on me. Sketches on my feet, cargo shorts look good on me. I'm a dad, that's what I do.
Well, here we are again, back at it, talking all things home dad life. And honestly, it was a pretty good day today, but it got crazy the last hour. And so it's time to do the one thing that I really enjoy in the evenings, and that's hang out with Danny Mercer, talk, and crack a beer.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, that was a true sound effect. Oh man. How's life been with you, man?
Great. I guess we're gearing up to, for the move. We're coming in the last little leg here. We closed on the house yesterday and
Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. We're now renting our own house for until the 18th, which is really weird and was really sad to find out that was the final. There's no going back now. We've sold the house. We're done. We're absolutely hands down. And it's a moment of realization, which I wasn't really ready for. I'm not, it's all right though. I'm a fairly positive person overall. So, even if there was nothing good about the move or whatever, I'd still be probably okay. So just missing my old place, that's just normal. And I think it just says something to the home we built here.
Yeah.
And then therefore speaks to the home that we'll build in Wisconsin. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's all right. But I spent all day in the 95-degree heat, packing boxes and getting stuff ready for a couple movers to come over tomorrow and put in the pod for me. And yeah,
I saw that big old pod that came in for you.
Yeah, man.
Huge.
Pods it was the smallest one I could get, and it's 16 feet long. So okay, yeah, it's huge. I mean, it's more than we wanted. It's twice literally than what we wanted.
It's some serious hardware, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you ever get to see them in operation, with a guy pulled up with his truck and he basically just has this dolly thing that lifts it up on a couple little chains and it's kind of swaying there in the middle of them, and then he just drives the truck out from underneath it, sets the pod down, unhooks it, puts the thing back onto his truck, and gone. It was amazing. It was an incredible feat of engineering.
Wait, so you mentioned that you're driving a truck. Like, are they sending the pod up there?
Yep.
And then you're driving something separate on top of that? Like,
yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet, man. Well, sounds like you guys are well on your way, and the days will come quicker than probably you want them to. So
yeah. Picking the truck up on Friday and going to spend all day Friday packing, and hopefully not all day Saturday and all day Sunday. But we'll have everything in the truck by Monday night, except for the mattresses and the clothes and stuff that like suitcases for the trip itself. And hopefully the entire house and the entire shop and, everything will be completely empty.
So does that mean you're driving down to HomeDadCon then?
I don't know if I'm going to drive or fly.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it still be a decent drive for sure. So like 10 hours or so easily. So yeah.
Morning's already got like the whole week off, almost like Tuesday through Friday. So I don't know if she can get Monday off too. I don't know that we are going to be able to arrange that, but with the kids going to be in school and all that, she's already going to have enough on her plate. So I'll probably end up flying down,
I'm amazed at all the guys that are coming in so early, honestly. It's really funny this year with the amount of guys that came in so early. Like it jacked up our room block. I mean, granted, our room block is completely full for HomeDadCon, and which is awesome. And at the same time, it was one of those like, yay, we did it. Oh shoot, we did it. Like, like that's what it came down to. So
we have a few months left, and guys that still want to go. Well, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. A lot of hands-on where when people need a room, we're gonna have to have conversations and try to help them, because right at the moment it's tight. So, which we do have a few rooms that are under names of folks who backed out for different reasons, and we we have the rooms in our name. And so if somebody needs a room and hopefully they are willing to take on a roommate to help out, then we, can make that happen. So people just need to communicate with us. So it'll be interesting the next couple of months for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and today for me was all right. My day mainly was surrounded everything HomeDadCon. So it's been exciting and crazy all at the same time. I got to tour actually TQL Stadium where FC Cincinnati plays. And let me just say, I was expecting like hey, come in, like check out your section and then see you later. It was great. No, like this guy gave us the full tour like of the place, which was awesome. And I really am excited. Like we got awesome seats too. So we have a block of 35 seats actually for the game. So I've got 20 tickets still left to sell for anybody who wants to go. And it's only $28. So if you're coming to HomeDadCon, or if you live in Cincinnati and you're a part of the Cincinnati Dads group, that ticket price is available to you. And you just need to go to the event page, either on the attendees page or go to the event page at the Cincinnati Dads closed group, and we'll get you squared away with the ticket from there. So that was fun. I'm
it looked
super
great.
excited. Yeah,
it looked great. And the guy, I mean, I was watching the video when you were talking about, I think it was the beer gallery. Is that what they called it?
The beer hall. Yeah.
Beer hall. Yeah. And it was like, so, and what I'm looking at, I'm like, okay, so there's beer. Okay, cool. We're good. So that's, that's all I needed.
So the good and bad of that is like, yes, they have a beer hall. Bad part is that unless you're a season ticket holder, you can't go down in that space. Like it is for a very, like it's weird how they did it, but I thought it was open to the public, and here to come find out, it's actually only open up to the people that are sitting in that ticketed section. Like they actually can go down and go in. Man, it is super nice in there too. And I was under the understanding from the building specs and the way they announced it was that this was supposed to be a public space. And then somewhere along the lines, like, I don't know, they changed the contract or whatever, but now it's a private thing. So I was a little bummed by that. But they do have a ton of like food and beverage selections like all around the stadium. So it's really neat how that all plays out. Just different ambiances and whatnot for it. So yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah. It looks like a beautiful stadium too. So
yeah. And I mean, the other thing too, I mean, it's such a nice stadium that like they got a World Cup qualifier in November where USA and Mexico are going to be playing. So
I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
So that was cool. One exciting part to it. And like I had my kids with me and they were having a blast. You thought that I was the owner or something because those kids were just running around the stadium like they own the place. So that was pretty funny. And the guy was like totally cool with it. Like he's single guy, just no kids. So he thought
seemed pretty cool. Yeah.
He thought it was hilarious. And actually what was really neat, I thought this was the coolest thing. So I've never really done anything like this before. And I get there and, go into the security and sign in. And the guy's like, hey, before we go, he's like, I brought a gift for each of the kids. And I'm like, what? And he pulls out this bag and he pulls out plushies of the mascots.
No.
The mascot. Yeah.
Sweet.
And I'm like, I'll take one. Like, those are cool. And he was like, giving them to the kids and they both acted like super shy. Like they didn't want them. And I just said, hey, listen, Brandon, thanks so much. Like, they love plushies. They really do. They're just acting shy right now because they just don't know you. And he was like, no, that's fine. He's like, I'll just put them back here in the bag. We'll do the tour. And he's like, I'll offer them to him again. I'm like, sounds great. And they accepted him at the end and it was fine. And it was so funny because my daughter's like, oh, I won't sleep with this. Yeah, guess what? She went to bed with it tonight.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Like,
it's the new one, got to make a place for it. Yeah,
exactly.
We've all seen Toy Story. We know how it goes.
Yes. So, and she loves it. But anyway, and just so you know, like the mascot for FC Cincinnati is Gary the Lion. And so it's this really cool orange lion with wings and like a crown on its head. And it's a sweet little stuffed animal. So
cool.
So, yeah. So we did that. And then we went over, I was like, you know what, we're downtown. Let's take some time. And so we went over to Covington where the hotel's at. And played some Pokemon Go while we were over there to help kind of push along the time with the kids.
Yeah.
You got to be creative, like, because they were like, we don't want to walk anymore. I'm like, well, what if we do Pokemon Go? Oh, I'm excited. Let's do that.
Right. Yeah. I'm
So,
not bored anymore.
no, I'm not bored anymore. And showed off like the amphitheater. I went live and kind of showed the area, and sort of like played out like some space for things where we might be able to try to do some stuff outside during the convention. And then went over to where we're going to do Convention Eve and took some pictures so that we can announce that next week, because we needed better pictures than what were online. And so, yeah, it was really exciting. Like even Convention Eve is only like a 2 or 3 block walk from the hotel. It's not far.
Cool.
So it's nice. It takes like 6 minutes to walk there. No big deal.
It's not really getting there is the problem. It's getting the guys back is probably more the.
Yes, very much so.
Walk that way. We need a walk leader. We need everybody hold the rope. Let's just try to make it back to the hotel.
Very true. So yeah, so exciting news there for that. But had some great announcements this past week with keynote speakers and things. We started out with Al Watts and his son Miles come in to talk about Miles's transition and just the conversation that was had. And I think a lot of dads are going to find that to be very interesting. I know I've talked to Al about it, and that's something. Isn't that something that's kind of near to you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And definitely, I think we should explain a little bit more about when you said transition, so that we kind of have know what's going on.
My verbiage is not very good on it, so I will
just
hand that over to you.
I don't know that I'm much better, but Al's son was gendered female at birth, and had realized that he was male. I don't know when that was, but Miles seems like an incredible person, which doesn't surprise me because Al is just the best. He's just amazing. He's just so loving and so open and so kind. And I will say that when my son came to me and told me that he was transgender masculine, that it was Al that I talked to probably first or second about, okay, what do I do now? What do I not do now? Where am I going? And the big thing for me too, which was really wonderful for me personally, is that Al is is Catholic like I am. And so we have that, idea of where we're supposed to be in the world, and things, are this one way. And then, God teaches us, no, everything changes, everything, you need to be ready for it. And then God is love. So what should you do in any situation? Well, think of love first and move from there. And then, and I kind of knew that already, but going and talking to Al and kind of picking up just an understanding of it's okay to make mistakes. If you mess up a pronoun every once in a while, or you mess up, you call them by their old name is called their dead name. Cause that's had the name that is so. Yeah. So if you call them by their dead name, that's a faux pas, but it's not the end of the world, and you're not a horrible person. And just how to remain the supporting, loving parent that you've always been, and that this really isn't that big a deal. Now, it is a big deal. It's really surprising and mind-blowing in a lot of ways, and it changes so much about what you thought of. For the last 15 years, I had 2 sons, 2 daughters, and now I have 3 sons, 1 daughter, and everything about it is small little changes in all the directions, right? So talking with Al, and then Miles has been really active on his Instagram and is very, very active in his community, and as his dad as an ally and all that. It's just, honestly, it's beautiful seeing Al. And Al's just great. I just, I love Al.
We had the feature from Dad's Got This with Craig Melvin, right? And a while back, like a couple of years ago, one of the very first episodes, one of the very first like features he did actually was called Dragon Dads. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but basically Dragon Dads is a group of dads who are dads of faith, whose kids are part of the LGBTQ community. And he was just featuring like how they stand up for their kids because they're their kids. And I know, like in the post that I put out, like I tagged them in it because
cool.
I wanted to see if they'd have any interaction with it. I haven't seen anything just yet, but still, like, yeah, there is a group out there on Facebook. Actually, it's a closed group for dads of faith who have kids. They're in the LGBTQ community. So I think that
Nice.
there is support out there in that space. It's nice that you have a personal connection with Al.
Mhm.
But for anybody that's listening that maybe doesn't have that, like, there is that out there as well. So I wanted to kind of put that out there for anybody that's listening is going, I'm in that situation and I really don't know any of you guys. So who do I talk to?
Yeah, exactly.
You can always talk to Danny though. Trust me. Like,
every time. I mean, what's really funny, which I don't know if you know this, you probably do, but Al is an introvert.
Yes.
He is not comfortable talking as much as I am, or as you are. He is not comfortable being out front. And he was, in Raleigh, actually, he was president. That was his last term, I think, as president of the board for, the National at Home Dad Network. And, he was awesome. He sat down at our table, because I always sit right up front anyway, but he came and he sat down and I'm like, okay, who's this guy? And I didn't know anybody, obviously. And he just jumped right into talking, was really nice, just gregarious, fun. Yeah. And then said, hang on, I got to go do a thing, and stood up and went and got on stage. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. I was just talking to the president. I hope I didn't make an idiot out of myself.
He came and tracked me down at Minneapolis. Actually, it was cool. Just like, he was like, I hear about you. I just want to sit down and talk with you and kind of get to know you a little bit. I'm like, all right. And a whole group of us went out to eat at this pub or whatever, but he like sat right beside me and was talking to me about all kinds of things. And this was like right after, I believe, his son had come out at that point and told him what was going on. So that was it was a cool conversation. I actually ended up getting him on my podcast to the Nomad Dad podcast to talk about it some more too, which was really cool. So yeah, looking forward to him coming and talking. That's been 2 years in the making, like to get that situated. So I'm really excited to have him coming with Miles. And I think it'll be like the first time we've had anybody that young actually at the convention, so that'll be interesting as well. So I hopefully he feels welcome and we'll be able to participate and stuff as well. But yeah, so we've got that, and then we had the announcement that one of my favorite underwear company, actually just favorite like undergarment company, is actually a sponsor this year. Beneath Beneath the Beneath company, which has this amazing fabric. Like their underwear is just so like soft and air, like breathable and everything else. And I mean, they really just have like, all right, how do we get this like, product to be something that men will like and see? And so they've got like really cool patterns. They've got all these different styles and stuff. But man, I tell you what, like it's all like very good activewear. So we got in touch with them. They're out of Vancouver, Canada. And they right now, I think it's if you spend $50, there's a code that will get you $10 off on your order. And from there, we're hoping that also, like, that's like kind of like the prelim to things, depending on how it goes. They're looking at possibly kind of doing some more stuff, but they want to sort of see how the engagement will work. And so I hope that our guys will really engage with what's going on there. If you're really interested and want to try it, like some good underwear out, I mean, yeah, like I said, it's, spend 50, 10 off. So it's about 40 or whatever. I think that we saw with like shipping or whatever, it ended up being like $57 total for like 2 pair of underwear, which seems very high in price, but man, the quality that you get is worth it. It's like one of those deals where it's like you get quality and quantity in it, and it's worth the price. So hopefully people will take advantage of that.
We already have, at least other than yourself, at least one other member I know that has said, oh yeah, I wear those. And I looked at them immediately, and I haven't done anything yet because I had to get back out to sweating outside. But that was one of the things I was thinking about. I'm like, well, okay, I buy my cheap little Fruit of the Loom. I don't worry too much about it, and they're fine. I mean, I guess to be the best way, but they're gone. And, and I'm not like, saying that I'm just like a huge destructive on my underwear type guy, but by any stretch, but they just wear out, and worse than socks or anything else. And I looked at it over the last, and this was so weird for me to do, but I looked at it over the last year. before the pandemic, because being at home all the time, it was a different world. Okay. It was a lawless wasteland. Let's just say there may or may not have been pants. Okay. It doesn't matter. But before that, I was easily spending about $150 in a 12-month period on the cheap stuff, because it would just, wear out. And then, okay, well, I got to get more. No, I got to get more. So I'm really interested in it. I may have to wait until we move because of the shipping and all that, but I think I can get it done and get it shipped to me here, or have them do it to my new address.
They are some of my wife's favorite underwear too, because they are they got a sexy man appeal to them as well. So
okay,
like the wife, she likes me in them, and I think that hopefully that's the case for others,
for everybody.
For everybody. So definitely check them out, because it's I think I have like a pair for every. I've really bought into it. Like I've got a pair for every single day.
Nice. Now I will say too, I'm going to set you up on this, but we are of course representing the National at Home Dad Network, and our 4 pillars of the network, of course, are community, advocacy, education, and
support. What's better at supporting you than your underwear?
Right? There it is.
There it is. Nice way to set set that ball right up on the tee. I smack that thing down the fairway.
It's your joke, man. I would definitely going to take it, but but a big part of it too is that that understanding with the education too is, okay, just buy better underwear, man. Just go ahead. You're buying the crap, and you're
treat yourself.
Right.
Treat
and it
yourself
will be worth
to good
it.
underwear. Yeah. What was it? As grandma says, man, you don't want to die in dirty underwear, like something like that. So have yourself a good, clean pair on. Might as well be comfy too.
Might as well be comfortable. Yeah.
Well, I digress. So, we have 3 breakout sessions that got announced. We'll go through these real quickly so we can get on to our main topic for the night. But we've got Peter Steinberg coming in to talk about basically life after being an at-home dad and getting back into the workplace. And he's got a lot of experience with that. He basically was a stay-at-home dad. He's one of the OGs, man. He's been around the organization for a really long time. He's one of the co-founders, actually, of the National At-Home Dad Network. And, he was a stay-at-home dad until his daughter went into high school, and then he went back into the workforce, and he's, dealing with being a part of working with folks with mental health and clinical counseling and things like that. And so I'm really excited to have him come in and present to a lot of guys who are in that transition period. I mean, I'm not like going fully back into work, but I am going to be doing some side stuff. And so I'm curious to hear what he has to say. And I'm sure there's others that are too.
And having it that even if it's 10 years from now, what should I be doing for the next 10 years,
right?
To make sure that when I come up with it, I need to put in a resume or whatever we'll have in 10 years. What do I put on it? What can I say that I've done, and keeping a record of the things that you during that time? Well, I'll let him, he probably has.
We've talked a little bit about it, but to hear it from somebody who's actually done it and gone through it is a wealth of knowledge that you and I don't have.
Bingo. Yeah.
So that's going to be one of the breakouts. Another one of the breakouts that we have is, again, we're doing the mental health breakout with Lauren Jaffe. And did I say that right?
Lauren Jaffe. Yes.
Lauren Jaffe. I said it right that time. I am horrible with saying his name. There's a few other people within the organization. I can't say their name very well either. So, but anyway, so Lauren and Danny will be doing the mental health breakout session again for that day. And that's always, been great for those that get to go to it. And then we've also got during that time David Stanley presenting on his what he calls his masterpiece talk, which honestly, like, he's done this talk so many times in different spaces. Like, he's a pro at it, but it's so good to hear. It's the how to pitch nearly anything to nearly anybody, and he's all about that. Like, how do you pitch yourself to other people? And so I think the combination of the two, it's going to be hard for some people probably to choose which one they want to go to, because there are some similarities in it. But I think the one thing that people should realize is that if you're, you're an attendee member, you're going to get access. Hopefully, we're working on it to where we'll be able to record all these and have them available later on. So if you miss one, you can pick up the other one through the attendees group in that way. So, and we're still working on any kind of like virtual stuff right now, because it is totally different than what we were doing for DadCon at home. It's very different actually in so many ways, but
it's almost like a TV production.
Oh yeah,
because you got so much. You need 10 cameras, and that's everywhere.
It's really hard to do. I've got an idea in place for it, and I'm still trying to like work it all out on how it's gonna be. But it won't be live. Like if you can't make it and you've paid, like if we have this virtual thing, it's going to be for the virtual part of it right now would be for like main session stuff, like it's always been when it's in person, and then later on you'd get to see the other stuff. So still working that out. But anyway, so David's going to come and talk just about pitching yourself, and I'm really excited about that. So that's pretty much the week of what we had for announcements. And I will just give one little brief thing, and that is that so this comes out on Monday. So that following Tuesday, we will announce where Convention Eve is going to be held at. You don't want to miss that announcement. It's going to be exciting. So just wanted to put that out there, since I was talking about the fact that I visited the location today. So that's HomeDadCon. Also coming up is the first day of school. For me, it's like 2 weeks away. How soon will your kids start?
September 2nd.
Oh, so you got a little bit of time. That's nice.
Little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. What's that been like for you? Okay. So you have 4 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I've got 2. Your youngest is
6.
done? 6. So going into kindergarten this year or first grade?
She'll be 7 in on the 23rd.
So she's going
a couple weeks. So she'll go into 2nd.
She'll go into 2nd grade. Okay. Yeah. So for me,
let me think. Hang on. Yes. Yes. Well, I'm saying, wait. Yeah. 2nd and 3rd, and then 7th and 10th. Yeah. Got it.
Okay. Wow. That's a gap. Okay. So I have my youngest going into kindergarten this year, and my oldest will be in 3rd grade. And so for me, this is like kind of going backwards and being like, oh, we're doing the first day of school. Like pre-K is a whole, like, whatever, have fun. I mean, you're gone for like half a day, whatever. Yeah. This is a full day, so I've got mixed feelings. And I'm sure other dads do too, I remember my wife crying when we dropped my son off at kindergarten. But I mean, I don't know. What kind of advice would you give? You can give it to me. I don't care. But for any dad, for that matter, that's in a situation where it's like, this is the, going back, or maybe this is their very first kid that's going into school.
It's tough. I mean, in some ways, and I will say first, whatever you're feeling is fine. If you're ready to dance back down the driveway and go lounge in your bathrobe for 3 or 4 hours till they get home, that is fine. If you're crying and you're upset and you miss them immediately, or you wish your little baby wouldn't, that's fine too. My oldest, he was ready. We went, the bus came up and he was just standing there beside me with his backpack on. And we drove up there and, into the driveway, and I'm sitting at the truck, and bus stops, and the bus driver, who we now know, by name, by face, and all that after all these years, looked and said, Mercer, and boom, he's gone. I mean, it's just boom. He didn't look back, didn't say goodbye, Dad, didn't wave, just woof right on that thing and ready to go to school. And and I'm like, that's you. I want a strong, independent child. This is great, man. This is what you want, right? And I was bawling. I mean, I bawl anyway, but that's just what, it was just wrecked me. And there's no way really to know how your kid's going to deal with it. So there's so many things that you really got to be prepared for all of them. I mean, if you're going to do it 100%, which is tough, but your child may hate the idea. Your child may be hating the idea, a month or 2 in advance. And it may just be that it comes up that morning. Oh no, I changed my mind. I'm not getting on that bus. So the first thing I would think is prepare not yourself only, but get your kid ready. Take them to the open house if you can. A virtual open house will work. You want them to see the building and know what's going on. And with COVID, of course, in a lot of places, there's, of course, a lot of restrictions on that, or who can go in and out of the school and when and everything.
Yeah.
But to have them, this is where I'm going, and this is my teacher, and this is the little thing I'm going to wear around my neck with all my information on it to tell everybody where I'm supposed to go. And this is my bus. It's I don't know if all buses do this, but I kind of assume, but rather than just numbers, ours have little pictures of animals for the elementary school kids.
Or you just don't have a bus system at all. That's what I mean.
The other part of it, just drop them off.
We don't really have, we have a pickup and drop off. So, because we're a small private college or school, so it's a little bit different. I mean, they do have a bus system for the older kids, but most part, or however, it's weird. They've got like half bus, half carpool. It's really odd. Anyway, but yeah, so you mentioned being prepared. I remember dropping off my daughter for pre-K, and she was really very much this, I don't want to say nervous, but she definitely was really shy when it came to her interactions at the very beginning of it. Even when we did like the welcoming port, the meet your teacher type of thing, she was very not all that interested in it. Kind of like, I'm here, but she ended up warming up. Like, it was funny. The first day of school, we dropped her off, gave her hugs, kisses, whatever, said, have a great day. And she was like, I don't want to be here. And we're like, so much fun. And like the teacher takes her by the hand and brings her into school. We find out later, she completely just was like, great. Everything was wonderful, and turned into a student that they didn't even expect to have. And she still acts that way. And so that's where I've prepared myself. This is very much could go sideways very quickly. Yeah. So that's the very first thing. I like that idea. Definitely prepare yourself and prepare your kid for what it is, and realize that along with that preparedness is that the whole thing could just take a complete direct left turn into the wall. Right.
And it could be great. It could be way better than you realize.
Right. They could care less that you're there and bye, and
you're just wander off and
what about my emotions?
But I'm your favorite. Come on.
Right.
Yeah. But you got to be ready for that too.
That was my son. My son was that way. Bye. See you later. I don't need you. Go. Just go. Yeah. Go away. My teacher's my new favorite person now.
Yeah, exactly. I was so tired of hearing how wonderful, and I won't say her name. I was about to say her name out loud, but wonderful my teacher is. That's great. I'm sure she is wonderful. Did she ever change your diaper? No, huh? Guess it's not that good, is she? But yeah, no, she was just in love with everything, or he was in love with everything as soon as he got, and then the other end of it too, I think, and this is something that we all kind of need to realize when we're dropping our kids off anywhere, especially with something like school, and you've determined you're going to put your kids in school, then they're going to be in school. So you need to be able to take them there or put them on the bus, whatever you need to do, and step back and let them go. And dropping your kid off, especially, you can see it if they're upset. You can see if they start crying, if they start, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to go, whatever. And I think all parents have had that moment with their children in one way or another, even if it was just daycare or something. And then once they get there, just like you said with your son, boom, or your daughter, I'm sorry, boom.
Yeah.
She doesn't even care. She's like, no, after I was here 10 minutes is the greatest day of my life. I don't want to go home.
Right.
So their crying and yelling is just a part of, and this is going to scare you, them growing up.
Yep.
That's Definitely. Where they are.
Well, and it's just one of those things where I think too, it tears at your heart when you see them crying and whatnot. You're like, all right, I gotta walk away.
Of course.
But I think the other thing I thought was really funny was, being on TikTok, you see some pretty funny videos from time to time. And I saw where there was this parody of this dad who he dropped his kids off at school, and he's all like, yes, they're gone. They're all at school. And he sits down on his couch and his phone rings, and it's like, Maribel left her, blah, 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 blah. Can you bring him to school and bring it to her? And he's all like, and he gets back home, and then another one calls up. He's just like, yeah, it's going to be great not having the kids here. Now I get to run back and forth. And
exactly.
I could see that in some respect. And of course, he's being very sarcastic in how it goes or whatever. But I think that the other thing, as far as preparedness for getting them there, is also having things all right, I've got all this stuff. I can actually have some relaxation with that. So
plan it out.
hopefully if it's, that first day, you do get a bit of a breather and get the ability to just sort of be like, oh, they're gone. Like, this is nice. And I know for me, with my wife working here at home too, like we both are like, oh wow, like it's gonna be so weird having like a quiet house. Like,
Yeah.
what's that gonna be like? So that's the other thing that we're trying to ready ourselves for, because it's going to be different than it was last year for some. I mean, most kids are going back to school. Some kids are fully masked, some kids aren't. Just depends on what the state and how that's all going down. We actually, just to kind of put some personal stuff out there, just for vulnerability purposes, like our schools probably, unless the state mandates it, will be like maskless. That's nothing uncommon for them, but I really feel like regardless of that, and I'm hoping that there are other parents that do this as well, like the idea that we want to try to keep our kids from getting sick in any kind of aspect of it. I would rather be in that camp of, at least I tried by sending my kid with a mask to wear during the day. I don't care what the other kids are doing. We talked to them about the fact that we're like, did you get sick much last year? No. Okay. Why was that? And, they kind of look at it as like, it's because you were wearing a mask and you were, hygiene was there and that kind of stuff.
Yes.
And so, yeah, we plan on sending them. It's not a fear of the virus. It's a fear. It's not so much a fear. It's a acceptance of the fact that there's a high probability that your kids could get sick. And right now, the thing that they could get sick with is a super danger compared to some of the other things from the past type of deal. And it's just not fully reined in just yet.
Yeah.
If my kids were both vaccinated, I would feel a lot more comfortable. But yeah, so we had a conversation about that tonight, and just the fact we're like, hey, just so you're aware, like we're expecting you guys to wear your masks. And this is talking to a kindergartner and a third grader. And I even asked my son too, because my daughter in pre-K didn't have to wear a mask. They just didn't have the little kids wear them last year. But my son wore one. And I said, was it really that bad? Like, was it a big deal? And he was like, I just didn't like it. And I'm like, no one is liking wearing a mask. I'm like, no one is. But I was like, was it really that awful? And he was like, no, not really. He's like, it was just annoying to have to wear it all day long. And I was like, I get it. You realize there are doctors who feel the same way. And we have friends who are doctors. And it's like, like, what about Dr. Anna and some of their people, like they're wearing that stuff all day long. Like, so, they're tough conversations to have, but I think that you need to have them before the first day of school comes along. And two, you never know if like the state changes something, like might as well be ready.
And I feel too, like you said, none of us got sick last year. My family, none of us got sick. We always get sick.
Right.
I mean, it is just with 4 kids, someone's going to get that cold. And it's just going to be a cold. And it may be, I mean, it has been like stomach virus or stomach flu before. And I'm like, well, we're just going to all die because I cannot handle anybody throwing up on me again. Well, I'm wanting to throw up and you're throwing up. Stop it.
Yeah.
But other than that, but we didn't get a cold. We didn't get anything. When we were all back in school halfway through the year, and nobody got sick then. Everything was fine. And I'm like, man, I will wear a mask every year if it means that we're not just pushing around the cold. That's enough for me, because it's such a pain and it's such a drain.
Now, I will say that something interesting that I heard last night from my Bible study, who we have an ER doctor in our Bible study. And she was like, so the other day, a 3-year-old came into the ER and was diagnosed with croup. And I'm like, what?
What? Really?
Yeah. And she said, I know it sounds odd. Croup is a winter disease, a winter virus. But because of just the whole idea that people were taking good care of themselves and whatnot, like it actually, with the fact that like it's sort of really lax during the summer and kids were getting together, those viruses from the winter are now starting to roll into the summer. And so they're starting to see that.
They were just waiting.
Pretty much. Yeah. So that's something else to kind of think of in the fashion of like, you need to still be taking care of yourself, that kind of thing. Like,
Mhm.
that's when other things kick up. But yeah, so I kind of put that out there, just like, be prepared. Like,
Mhm.
be prepared to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And it is right now. I mean, really is a parent by parent choice in a lot of ways.
It seems like it.
And so you do what's good for your family,
Mhm.
and everybody else does their thing. And honestly, I think the biggest thing out of this is that parents who are parents who decide not to mask their kids should also be telling their kids not to bully the kids who are masked. Like, that's honestly, like, that's my biggest concern, is
Mhm.
that, like, in the end, like, everybody's doing what's best for their family and no one should be picked on for that. And
Okay.
yeah.
Definitely should not be bullying anybody for anything.
Oh,
Definitely.
no. Yeah,
That's
no.
100%. But also, yeah, I
100%.
understand
But I
what you're
mean, I'm
saying,
just
yeah.
talking about like
Yeah,
this
yeah, I see what
specific
you're saying.
topic,
Mhm.
because it is such a political thing in its own perspective.
Maybe you need cooler masks, man. I mean, I don't know. You get a really cool, like I don't know, Spider-Man mask or something, but it's only
Spider-Man,
halfway
yeah.
or whatever. Well, because whatever's cool. I have no idea
I would
what's
be
cool.
I would be Deadpool. Like,
For your children. Go a little, for we're talking about going to school, so we don't want Deadpool.
my son would want
Unfortunately,
Venom. My son would want Venom.
yeah, gag, and
like the big long red tongue.
Yes, absolutely.
That would be
Yeah,
my son. He's like, if I'm going, I'm going that way.
yeah. Oh, I'll wear this every day. I'll never take that. I'll just look at people and go, huh?
Yeah,
Make weird faces at them.
But no, I mean, so also too, for first day, I think making, for a stay-at-home dad, making that connection with the teacher and the administration is so vital. Like, that, even if you have to drill it in, I am the primary caregiver. I am the primary contact. Yes, they have a mother. Yes, that spouse is on there as a secondary.
Yes.
That is a secondary. You call that. It's like, if you call that secondary number, you better be ready to deal with some fire.
Yeah.
For real. Like, I know that my wife would light a teacher up, and has.
Yeah.
It's like, you completely missed what's on here. I don't care what gender roles you think there are or should be. Like, this is how our family is set up. And I think that is vital, that you stand up for your family. And honestly, if you have a very supportive spouse, they should be the other one too, that also says, do not call me. I will be very unhappy with you if you call me and you don't call them first. So yeah, that's a passion point for me. I'm gonna step off my soapbox now.
Well, it's something that comes back regularly too, and it's every year. And we've been going to our elementary school since my oldest went to school. That school he went through entirely, and all three of his siblings have gone through it, and even up until 2019, because last year was completely weird. But 2019, I had people calling Marnie first, and I'm like, that's your fault. There's literally, and they said this, oh, there is a flag on your account or your folder, your profile. Oh yeah, there it is. I'm like, so you just didn't look for it. You didn't, there's a flag, but you're just going to go ahead and call, because it is so normal. That's what of course, it's the mom you're going to call every time. Why would you call the dad? And that's, it is what it is, but it's changing. But the other part of it is, like, I, own it. Yeah. Like we said before, I'm a stay-at-home dad. That's what I do. And it's hard to say that sometimes, but you need to say it at school.
Yeah.
And I went so far this year for all the schools in Wisconsin, because these are all new schools for me. And I don't know any of these teachers or administrators. I've never met any of them. I've only spoken to one person that entire county, in fact. And I told Marnie, I said, I'm not putting your number down correctly. I'm just not. If they need to talk to somebody, they need to talk to me. And if we need to, that becomes a problem for whatever reason that they can't reach me, and I can't imagine what that would be, let's just go ahead and, let's just deal with that at the time. I'll put in a house line or something like that.
I say, is it bad that I want a dummy line that just, like, when it calls, it's a straight voicemail and it says, "Hi, you have reached the wrong number. You should have called Danny Mercer
right.
at this
There's
number. He's the
no
primary
reason.
to the kids. Something
Nobody
along those
knows
lines.
why you called this number, but
Yeah. By the way, we've been trying to reach you for your extended warranty.
your car warranty. Yeah. But making sure too that when you're getting yourself ready for school, getting your kids ready for school, that part of it is that you're ready to take on that role 100%.
Yeah.
And say, no, this is me. This is what I do. This is my child. His mom loves, or his or her mom, they love them. Absolutely. Yes, they are there, but they're working and I'm the at-home parent.
Yep.
So they're going to be in a position that they can't take phone calls from the school, and you're just going to make them mad. And, tell them, put a note on my folder, put a flag, whatever you got to do, put a sticky on your forehead. I don't care. Don't call my wife. You're going to piss her off and you're going to make me upset. And then I'm going to call you because why didn't you call me first?
Yep.
And I'm an at-home parent. I'll just come down there.
Well, and in a situation
We'll
of
talk it face to face,
and in a situation of an emergency,
Mhm.
like you are now putting my child at risk because you can't get
Mhm.
over your gender biases
Yeah.
to call the right person. Like
Mhm.
that's not good.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing. I think I heard one time someone say, like an administration person or whoever it is that like makes those phone calls was like, well, it's just awkward to call dad. It's like, well, then you need to get over yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you really do. You like,
Yeah.
this is the 21st century. Like get, like, come on.
Mhm.
So yeah, hopefully that's, I'm hoping that more dads grab hold of the fact that, they
Mhm.
need to make that known. Also too, I really wish that comedians would stop like saying stupid stuff on stage about like how they are as dads. Sometimes it drives me nuts. Like I heard a dad one
Yeah.
time say, it was like, the school called me and was like, Mr. Johnson, do you know what bus number your kid's on or something like that? And they're like, why should I know that information? I'm like, oh, come on. Like, but I get it. It's satire.
Mhm.
It's satire. Just sometimes it drives me nuts. Anyway, yeah. So first day of school, I'm excited for it. I will tell you this: my
Mhm.
actual plans for the first day of school will probably involve coming back here to the house and chilling out, and or honestly taking my bicycle and strapping it on my car and going for a bike ride afterwards, because we have a bike trail right beside the school, and so I might
Cool.
put in some miles, even though I'm going to be having shoulder surgery in November.
Mhm.
Still want to try to do some active stuff for a while.
Yeah. And you should. I mean, that's
Yeah.
going to keep you healthier. So
Yeah.
just don't
Overdo it.
crash and fall on it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to crash. That would be awful.
Yeah. So
Oh man. But yeah, so hopefully, everybody's first day of school goes well. I always love the really funny satires where you see like mom and dad like popping wine or champagne or something as like the kids get on the bus and stuff.
Mhm.
Like those videos are hysterical. Honestly, they're the ones that I really enjoy watching on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah.
There's some
Yeah.
very creative ones out there.
And there is, nothing wrong with being happy that your kids are going to be in school for the day.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
sorry. There's no guilt needed for that. No, you put in, you do your day already. And even if they're in school, because you mentioned like having to take, they forgot their backpack. Oh, they forgot this, and go back and forth with the comedian you mentioned earlier. And that's what when people ask me, oh, your kids are all going to be in school this year. Well, what are you going to do? You go get a job now or whatever? And I'm like, I'm going to continue I got to get them all awake first. I got to get them dressed. I got to get them with their backpacks. I got to get everything going. I got to get them to school. Last 2 years we've been driving them to school, and so, yeah, that's granted. That's not a full 8-hour day, but it's about 4,
Right.
especially with 4 kids. And
well, too, if you're home, you've been like going like, I could fix that. I could do
Right.
that. Like, I mean, and
let me
think
cut
about like,
the grass or something. Yeah.
yeah, I can
Anything.
paint. I could paint this room.
Mhm.
I've got stuff like that. Like I've been telling my wife, I'm like, hey, like, would you want your office painted a different color? What do you want? Do you want the dining room painted a different color? We don't have a big house, so it's not like they're huge rooms or anything like that. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, they could be painted in a day easily.
Yeah. Knock it
But
out.
stuff like that, or hey, I'm gonna, and for me, like I'm a former like janitor, like manager type thing. I was like, hey, I'm gonna like re-wax the kitchen floor, like that kind of stuff. It's like all these little projects to do and
Yeah.
things. So
Yeah.
I think that, yeah, when people were like, oh, what are you gonna do? Like, I'm going to take care of my house just like I've been doing. I just don't have to worry about having little, rugrats
Helpers.
running around too. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Helpers. That's a way to put it. Fine.
Helpers. Your helping is not helping. But
Exactly.
It's fine.
Can you hand me
It's
that
a
hammer?
teaching moment. It's a teaching moment.
I love my job. I love it.
I love all my children.
Oh, and moms are doing the same thing too. Come on out. Like that's
there's no way. That has nothing to do with gender. That's just okay. I've been doing, especially over the last year when you had to do it at home and 24/7 with all these people and your spouse is home. And I love my spouse. Everybody knows I love my spouse. Damn. Oh, I'm sorry. I cussed. But would you just please go back to work? We're arranging it. It was so funny because for the new house, Marnie was talking about, I need an office in the house. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's great. And she says, well, we have about 700 square feet in the basement that's unfinished. And I could put we could get a contract out there to put some walls in. And I'm like, no. And she said, what do you mean? I said, no, we have a full garage. And in the back side of the garage, the guy had a huge workshop. And she said, yeah, I thought that could be like and I looked at her and I said, if you say man cave, I'm leaving. I'm out because I hate that phrase and she knows it. I don't need a man cave. Thank you. I get it. People do what it is, but I know this whole house is my man cave. Okay. The whole thing. I run the house. I'm the homemaker. This is what I do. And I said, but what we are going to do is we're going to take that space and we're going to sheetrock the whole thing, make sure it's insulated. We're going to put heating and air in there because even in, Wisconsin, you'd want air conditioning for a professional appearance. We'll have the windows open, the dog barking across the street, but I'm still a professional. No, let's just put some AC in, do the whole thing, knock it all out. And we've got the budget for that right now. And I said, what's going to happen is you're going to get up in the morning. You're going to get out of my bed. You're going to get out of my bedroom, and you're going to get out of my house.
And you're going to commute across the lawn.
Yeah, like 15 feet. Yeah, it's not. You shouldn't even have to go outside. It's just like it's an attached garage. Yeah, so it's just like
nice.
Go through the kitchen, go through that door, go through the next door, and I'll see you maybe at lunch.
There you go.
I don't have to, worry about you. I'm not going to have to if I'm making too much noise. Yeah. I'm a loud guy. I love to sing during the day. And I like to sing like up here. I mean, like loud, the window's shaking. And I haven't done it in a couple of years with any regularity because there's people here. Yeah. And I don't want to interrupt their Zoom calls or her, her work stuff is Primero. I mean, it's just the top.
Sure.
There's nothing else in front of that. So I don't take any chances. I want all those chances back, So yeah, I'm kicking her out. She's done. She's gonna go over there and stay in her own. I'm gonna get her a little fridge. She can have a little, I don't know, water and whatever over there and some fruit or something. Like you don't have to come in for lunch. Get out.
If I'm not careful, my wife's gonna end up kicking me out of this office that I've used for podcasting and everything because it's got windows in it, and she's down in the basement with glass block windows.
Oh yeah.
And she's just like, well, the kids aren't gonna be around. I could come up here, and I'm just like, well. Shoot.
I don't know, man.
So there's all kinds of stuff being talked about right now.
Is she scared of bugs?
No.
Snakes?
She doesn't like snakes. Like yeah, not a snake fan.
Tell her there was a hole in the wall and it looked like there was a snake in there.
Do you want me to not be here anymore? Like I don't know. That's a horrible suggestion. You're fired. Oh my goodness.
I'm about ready to quit anyway. It's fine.
It's all good. It's all good. Hey, we're only like so many days until the Bourbon Trail. So that's
right till vacation. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. 64 days till the Bourbon Trail.
Cannot wait. Is it 64? Okay, cool.
64 days. It's crazy. Yeah. 65 days till HomeDadCon. So
it won't be in when this comes out though. So what will it be?
So
57 days, 54, 58. Like less than 60 days. That doesn't matter. I'm not doing math tonight. Less than 68 days and less than 60 days. 2 months, guys, 2 months. Get your tickets and come on.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
I can't wait. Cannot wait. Are we going to podcast from there?
No, I'm not gonna have time to do that. I don't know. We'll see. I wouldn't mind it.
Time. I'm gonna do my own podcast. Be sitting there just anybody want to talk about? Anybody want to talk to me? Anybody?
As I say, you could just hit record and see who walks up and starts talking.
Just walk around and go. I have a microphone. You want to talk to me? Then I can find all my fellow extroverts. Yay!
There you go. I would say this: bring your microphone. I'll bring mine, and I'll bring my my recording equipment, and we can just plug in and set it up. It won't have to be anything big. We won't video. Well, we can try to video it. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Laptops or whatever, maybe. Yeah.
That might be fun. We could do that.
Yeah.
Get a few beers in me. We can have a fun conversation.
Hey
We might just start talking and end up having to cut it into like 4 episodes. But,
man, it's 1 o'clock. So we've gone to bed. No, man, we got to talk about something.
we got something.
We haven't covered anything worthwhile yet after 4 hours. So,
oh golly. Anyway,
all right, dude.
So
yeah,
good time. I think we should cut it off.
Anyway,
So anyway, I hope everybody has a great first day of school and everything goes well there. And if you've got stories about your first day of school, how it went, if it was awful, if it was good, whatever it was, we want to hear them. So send them our way. And, if you do send it our way, I'd love to be able to read some of them, honestly. It'd just be fun to share with that. So other than that, we're done for the night.
Yep. All done.
All right. Well, y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, bud. Good night, everybody.
I'm a dad, that's what I do.